It's Black Friday and everyone is looking for a deal. Lucky you, we've got 2 jerks for the price of 1. And the best part is you won't get into a brawl in the checkout line on this, quite possibly the jerkiest weekend of the year, when American gluttony is omnipresent. No matter how much you stuffed your face Thursday, no matter how awful people were to each other on Friday in search of half-price TVs, 2 people sank lower than the masses to share runaway jerk of the week dishonors. Of course, LaVar Ball and President Trump don't seem like the sharing type, so stay tuned. The next chapter of their splendidly stupid spat may be over who deserves it more. In case you've decided to boycott Ball and Trump this holiday season, and there are plenty of reasons to want to avoid them like them all for the next month, the pair have been going back and forth all week because both have extraordinary egos, massive mouths and absolutely no shame. Trump was upset Ball never thanked him for reportedly influencing the release of Ball's sticky-fingered son and 2 UCLA teammates arrested in China for shoplifting. Trump, as he does, blasted away on Twitter. Ball, as he does, went on TV and, long story short, refused. But along the way, Trump and Ball exposed themselves as one in the same. Don't think so, the evidence is overwhelming. Trump wears a Make America Great Again hat. Ball wears a big baller brand hat. Trump touts the size of his crowds. Ball touts his ability to beat Michael Jordan in Only on One. Trump trots all his kids out in public and gives them high-level government positions. Ball boasts about how his kids are better at basketball than everyone else. Trump had a reality show on NBC. Ball has a reality show on Facebook. Trump has built a brand based on luxury and excess. Ball sells $500 sneakers that are the epitome of luxury and excess. Trump has a less than favorable track record with women and once said he likes to grab them by the you-know-what. Ball tells them to stay in your lane. Trump calls controversies surrounding his family fake news. Ball called the controversy in China involving his family ain't that big of a deal. Finally, fellow conspiracy theorists, have you ever seen Trump and Ball in the same place at the same time? Neither have we. Take out the politics, take out the public policy and the undercurrent of more serious issues such as racism and misogyny, and it's impossible to differentiate between Trump and Ball. But this week, the 2 loudest guys in American culture, the 2 most polarizing people on the planet outside of Colin Kaepernick, clashed with each other because it was only a matter of time. Perhaps the most infuriating part of Trump versus Ball has been the rest of us falling over ourselves to pick a side in this winless battle. As usual, those sides were selected based on political and racial lines. That's just wrong, because both of these guys are so wrong on so many levels. Ball has been an international annoyance for months. The only thing new we learned about him this week is one of his sons, LeAngelo, is an alleged shoplifter and another, Lonzo, is not exactly a foxhole guy. Trump and Ball have been jerks on different levels for a while now. This week, their R's finally crossed, and as a result, they'll have to share something for the first time in their lives. This time of year, there's a little something for everyone. This week, LaVar Ball and Donald Trump are co-herks of the week. Joy to the world. Gail Burton-App TURKEYFRIED Peacock. In recent weeks, ESPN hasn't been able to get out of its way and painted itself into several embarrassing corners. But this week, NBC took the baton and turned in 3 jerky performances of its own. First, in response to comments Bob Costas recently made about the dangers of playing football and the clear risk of head injuries that's become a fabric of the game, NBC Sports threw Costas under the bus, as reported by the Daily News' Bob Raisman. Costas recently made headlines when the respected broadcaster said, "The reality is that this game destroys people's brains. This is not earth-shattering. Every CTE study that comes out of Boston University paints a clearer picture of how hazardous football is for human heads. Ignoring that is as dumb as denying global warming." NBC's response, the reaction to the keen opinions of its most recognized broadcaster, was curt. Bob's opinions are his own, and they do not represent those of the NBC Sports Group, an NBC Sports spokesperson told the news. NBC's statement was dismissive of the NFL's concussional problem, seemed to cut down its own guy, and clearly aligned the network with the wait-and-see denials of football truthers and people NBC relies on to make piles of money. Football is dangerous. Concussions and repetitive head trauma are a problem. The NFL is working to make the game safer. All of this is self-evident. But this week, so was NBC's position. And in dismissing Costas and glossing over a serious issue, NBC sure was a jerk. No leg to stand on, but NBC wasn't done. On Sunday night, we sat with our jaws on the floor when the network aired a promo for its Thanksgiving game between the Giants and Washington that starred a registered offender. Lawrence Taylor may have been a great football player, but that doesn't excuse his decades of awful off-field behavior. Yet, he continues to get a pass from the Giants, who continue to invite him to events, fans who wear his jersey in public, and now NBC, a network that used LT to sell a football game in a bizarre spot with Joe Theismann celebrating the career-ending injury he suffered on a Taylor hit in 1985. Look around, NBC. The way men treat women is a huge, important issue right now. One of the biggest stories in sports the last 2 weeks is the horrible case of former USA Gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar, who pleaded guilty to molesting girls. Yet, NBC used Taylor, a serial slimeball who pleaded guilty to UAL misconduct involving a 16-year-old girl, to get us to a football game. We get it. Taylor was one of the best on the football field. But off the field, he's one of the worst, and only a jerk gives a guy like that a pass. Jersey foul. Finally, NBC was back at it on Thursday. During the Thanksgiving Day parade in New York, of all places, there was Islanders legend Brian Trottier on the NBC Sports float, along with Ray Bourque waving to the crowd. There was Bourque in a Bruins jersey and Trottier, the four-time Stanley Cup winner during the Isles dynasty, wearing a Penguins jersey. Blasphemy. Unless of course you're trying to sell a Black Friday hockey game between the Penguins and Bruins. Because this week we learned, when it comes to getting people to, NBC will do all kinds of jerky things.